So in today's class, what we are going to see is chapter 5, sorting. So what is sorting? We are sorting out some variables or some values. So sorting is nothing but the process of arranging the elements in a particular order. So we are arranging a set of elements in a particular order. What is this particular order? Particular order can be an ascending order from smaller to bigger, or descending order from bigger to smaller. Or if you are having a set of names, like attendance list is there, so you can arrange in alphabetical order from A to Z, or you can arrange that too in the descending order from Z to A. So these are the various orders in which we are arranging the elements. This is called as sorting. So in Python or in computers itself, in computer science subject itself, we have different types of sorting. Here in your book we have only 3 types of sorting in chapter 5. So first one is bubble sort, second one is selection sort, and third one is insertion sort. First we will concentrate on bubble sort. What is a bubble? Bubbling up. So what you are doing, you are trying to sort by comparing the adjacent elements. Adjacent means nearby elements are sorted in each iteration. I will explain you what is an iteration. Now, so bubbling means each and nearby items are bubbled and put in the exact location. We are sorting out in the exact location. So let us take a small example. We are having a list with a set of 5 numbers: 3, 5, 1, 4 and 2. Now I want to arrange this in ascending order. So 1 should be here, 2 should be here, 3 should be in this place, 4 is in the exact place, and 5 should be put in the last position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I need the resultant sorted list. So let us use a bubble sort. So bubble sort basically compares the adjacent elements. Here adjacent elements are compared and sorted out. So in the first iteration, you are comparing these 2 elements. So when I equal to 0, let us take a variable I equal to 0. This is for first pass. So we have the iteration is called, either it is called as pass or iteration. So we will be using, I will be explaining you with a program, we will be using 2 for loops. So if you don't understand about that, simply you understand iteration. So pass of I equal to 0. So the first iteration we are starting with 0, that is the first iteration. So in this we will be doing some exchanges, some comparison between the adjacent elements. So we are mentioning it as J. So I equal to 0. For I equal to 0, let us take J equal to 0. We are comparing this both 3 and 5. So 3 and 5, if we compare, 3 is already less and 5 is the greatest. We are sorting in the ascending order. So this will be the same. Let us move to the next iteration, J equal to 1. It will compare these 2 elements. These 2 elements, again this is smaller and this is bigger. It will leave out less. In the next iteration, J equal to 2, they will compare 5 and 4. 4 is put here and 5 is put to the next location. Next you are comparing 2, you are bringing 2 to the front and 5 to the last. So this is the first pass we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 iteration. So inside a for loop of I, we will be having a for loop of J. Just to understand that one. That is enough for now. So in first pass we have got a list of this one. This is not in a sorted order. Again what we have to do, we have to go for the second pass. So first pass is over, next is second pass. So this is the resultant list. We will take this list and we will sort, again do the bubble sort. So again 3 and 1 is compared, 1 is put to in the front position and 3 is sorted in the next. We are swapping the 2 values. Next again 3 and 4 is compared, 3 is smaller, again 4 and 2 is compared, 2 is smaller, and this is compared, it is in the exact position. Next 1, 3, 2, 4, 5. Here 1 is already small, so it will be the same. 2 will be placed here and rest everything is same. Next third one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is in the same, we have got the sorted. So this is how we are just comparing the adjacent elements and bubbling to the front. So that is why it is called as bubble sort. So hope you have understood. So the outer pass we will be having one for loop, and inner for j we will be having another for loop. So here we will be using nested for loop. Nested means one inside one for loop, another for loop is there. Now we will see a program. In this program we are having a list. So list numbers. So number is an object. We are creating a list object as number. Now I am appending 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. So this is the value I am inserting to the numbers. So number will be having 3, 5, 1, 4 and 2. Now I am finding out the length of the list. Length of the list is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the length of the list. So I am printing that one. Next one, this is the outer for loop and this is the inner for loop. So this is what I mentioned it as pass. So the first pass of I. So first I equal to the range we are using 0 to the value of this length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we have started with 0, we will be having only 5 minus 1, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 values are there. If you are starting with 1, you can mention it as n itself. So this is the outer loop, and we have another inner loop for the iteration. So because we are doing ascending ways we are sorting, we are using the greater than symbol, that is number of j. We are comparing the adjacent number of j and number of j plus 1. We are comparing both the values. The first one, if j equal to 0, 0 plus 1 first value. So number of 0, number of 1 we are comparing together. We are using a temporary variable. This is used for swapping two adjacent numbers. So in a temp variable, first we are placing this number of 0. So 0's number will be placed in temp. Then this will be empty now. We are placing number of 1 to the number of 0's place, and number of 1, this temp is assigned to number of 1. This is how we normally do the swapping of two numbers. Then we are printing and seeing. So why I am using here time.sleep is, I will just run and show this one so you will understand. So let us run this program. Here you can see I am having a list 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. This is the given list. This is the length of this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements are there. In pass of I equal to 0, that is the first for loop, I equal to 0, iteration of j equal to 0. So first j, here j we are taking it as 0. Here we have n minus I minus 1. Here this denotes, because after each iteration we have set of elements already sorted. So just we need to have only lesser number of sorting in j. That's why we just remember this term while we are preparing for exam. N minus I minus 1. So first I is 0, n is 5, n is 5. 5 minus 0 minus 1 is 4. So for first pass it will be 0 to 4. The next pass I equal to 1. So here it is 5 minus 1 minus 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. So it is from 0 to 3. Likewise it is decrease. In order to reduce the processing time and the speed, we will be using this term. Or you can use n minus 1, you will get the same result, but repeating the same instruction, the speed of the program will be decreased. So to improve the performance, we will be using n minus I minus 1. Next, you can see the same explanation what I have done. Iteration of j equal to 0, 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. So let me give some delay time. Let me give 5. So I can explain you one by one. So first I have given list is 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. So in first iteration I equal to 0, j equal to 0. Next it will be the same because this is lesser. Next it will having 1 and 5. So 1 is put here, then 4 is put here, then 2 is brought to this one. So the first pass you will be getting 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. Next in I equal to 0, you are taking I equal to 0, j equal to 0. So this list is sorted here. Again 4 is same, 2 is brought here. Next this will be the resultant. Next pass of I equal to 2. Here 1, 3, 2. 2 will be brought this side now. 4, 5. So we will be having only first time we will be having 4 iteration, second time 3, third time 2, then 1, because we have used n minus I minus 1. We can use n minus 1, but the coding will be repeated and it will affect your performance while you are doing bigger projects. So you can use this n minus I minus 1. Here the time complexity, so you can see the sorted list here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bubble sorting is nothing but you are comparing the adjacent elements and you are bringing the elements to the correct position, whether it is ascending or descending. If suppose, so this is a ascending sort, you are from smaller to bigger. If suppose I want in a descending order, so you will be comparing is lesser. If first num is less than the second num, the list the first is less than the second one, then you will interchange. So if you run and see, it should come as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because I have used time, let me, this is the delay time for execution, just to check up. Here 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just for ascending and descending you can use the relational operator. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the descending operation you are getting. So any number of elements you can sort it in this particular bubble sort method. So I will just repeat this one. So bubble sort is nothing but you are sorting the elements, the adjacent elements in each iteration. So first this will be compared, next this both will be compared, then this both will be compared, and the last two elements will be compared. So this is for the first one. Second one, all this will be compared, that's why then this 3, then this 2, likewise. So the inner iteration will be lesser, that's why we are having n minus I minus 1 term. The time complexity of this particular bubble sort is n square. N square denotes the time complexity, the processing time, because as we are using 2 for loops, we have to use n square. Okay, n square is the time complexity. Hope you have understood about bubble sorting. In my next video I will be teaching you about selection sort.